Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today we're going to work on lesson 49. So open your student book to lesson 49. Go ahead and touch part 1. Let's see if you remember a meaning for each of those affixes. Touch the letters UN. What's one meaning of un? Get ready. Not. Touch the letters RE. What's one meaning of re? Get ready. Again. Touch the letters PRE. What's one meaning of pre? Get ready. Before. Touch the letters TRI. What's one meaning of try? Get ready. 3. Touch the letters DIS. What's one meaning of dis? Get ready. Not. Now touch the first word in part 2. What's the underlined part? E. What word? Beetles. Next word. What's the underlined part? Re. What word? Related. Next word. What's the underlined part? What word? Discovery. Next word. What's the underlined part? Ow. What word? Crouched. Next word. What's the underlined part? What word? Glancing. Next word. What's the underlined part? X. What word? Experiencing. Next word. What's the underlined part? R. What word? Carnivores. Next word. What's the underlined part? O. What word? Floated. Next word. What's the underlined part? What word? Herbivores. Next word. What's the underlined part? Lee. What word? Occasionally. Next word. What's the underlined part? X. What word? Extinct. Next word. What's the underlined part? What word? Fierce. Let's go ahead and look at part 3. We're going to talk about what those words mean, boys and girls. Touch word number 1. What word? Foliage. The leaves on a bush or a tree are called foliage. Everybody, what are the leaves on a bush or tree called? Get ready. Foliage. Number 2. What word? Prance. When horses prance, they step high and move around in a frisky way. Word number 3. What word? Resume. Resume means to begin again. Everybody, what's another way of saying the game will begin after halftime? Think about it. Get ready. The game will resume after halftime. Word number 4. What word? Unison. When people talk in unison, they say the same words at the same time. Everybody, what would you be doing if you were singing the same words at the same time? Think about it. Get ready. Singing in unison. Touch word number 5. What word? Scramble. Scramble means to move quickly. Everybody, what does scramble mean? To move quickly. Let's go ahead and start with part number 4. Everybody should be touching the first word. First word. What word? Crocodile. Next word. What word? Period. Next word. What word? Metasequoia. Next word. What word? Dignified. Next word. What word? Ginkgo. Next word. What word? Cretaceous. Next word. What word? Similar. Next word. What word? Dragonflies. Next word. What word? Worms. Next word. What word? Mammal. Next word. What word? Grove. Next word. What word? History. Next word. What word? Ruled. Next word. What word? Inhabit. Next word. What word? Earth. Next word. What word? Frequently. Next word. What word? Business. Next word. What word? Realize. Next word. What word? Flesh. Next word. What word? Listened. Next word. What word? Aware. Next word. What word? Waiting. Let's go ahead and continue with part 5. Let's go ahead and follow along. The title of the story is Asleep on the Plane. Please follow along. Make sure we're tracking, because after this, you're going to complete your workbook. The sky became dark as clouds of insects floated over the plane in the late afternoon. Some insects were flies that looked exactly like the flies you see today. Others were dragonflies. Though they were similar to today's dragonflies, they were much bigger. There were butterflies, fleas, and flying ants. There were grasshoppers and flying beetles. Tekla was covered with insects, but they didn't bother her very much. Occasionally, she felt a sharp bite. She would roll over so that some of the insects would fly away. The grass waved in the breeze. In the distance was a grove of trees. 2 types of trees in that grove are alive today. One is related to the redwood. It is called the metasequoia. Its foliage is like that of the redwood, except that its needles fall off in the fall. Until 1946, scientists had thought that the metasequoia had been extinct for over 100 million years. However, the tree was discovered growing in a remote part of China. The other tree that grows today is the ginkgo. It has leaves shaped like fans, and it makes a good shade tree. Some of the trees in the grove might have looked similar to trees you see today, but they were different and have been extinct for more than 100 million years. Tekla didn't know anything about her place in the history of the world. She lived in what we call the last part of the dinosaur age. The dinosaurs were on Earth for more than 150 million years. The last part of the dinosaur age is called the Cretaceous. The Cretaceous period. The end of the Cretaceous period marked the end of the dinosaurs. Tekla didn't know that there would be humans on Earth 80 million years after the end of the Cretaceous period. She didn't know that the world would be ruled by a mammal, the human who would control more power than the most fierce tyrannosaurs that ever lived. She didn't know that animals like horses, cows, and elephants would someday inhabit Earth. What she did know was that the sun felt good, that the bite of some insects hurt, and that she was thirsty. The other Triceratops were thirsty too. They awoke, resumed eating, and then began moving slowly toward the water hole that was about 3 miles away. Tekla tagged along, stopping frequently to look at lizards or other animals. When they reached the water hole, the young Triceratops splashed and pranced around in the shallow water. The adults went about the business of drinking in a more dignified way. Experiencing water for the first time, Tekla felt its warmth and listened to the sound it made as she thrashed about. The water hole was teeming with animals. Some were waiting and drinking. Others crouched along the shore, drinking and glancing about to make sure that no predators were near. Tekla didn't realize that the different types of animals around her were similar to animals of today. There were those animals that the flesh of other animals, the carnivores. And there were those, like Tekla, that ate plants, the herbivores. She wasn't aware that there were carnivores that made their home in the warm water of the water hole. She didn't know that one of those carnivores was about 10 feet from her. It was a crocodile hidden under a bed of floating weeds, with only its 2 eyes and the end of its snout above the surface of the water. Tekla didn't notice that the crocodile's tail was beginning to move, making the animal slide forward in the water. So now that we're done, go ahead and complete workbook lesson 49. Make sure you turn it in by today. I will contact you tomorrow so we can go ahead and work on our checkouts.